YouTube, what goes on? Welcome to Disavowed Action Figures, bringing you another top 10 action figure countdown of 2022. Tonight, talking about the top 10 Marvel Legends of 2022. So here's a couple of rules. First of all, these are what I consider to be more single-carded slash regular releases. Okay, I know this year in particular, in 2022, people's opinions have really varied on what that actually is implied as being. It means no build-to-figures to me. It means no deluxe figures to me. No bigger, kind of chunkier figures that may have been released in like a 2-pack or a 3-pack, but to me feel more like a build-a-figure. I'm sure you'll have your opinions, as I know I have mine, which I'll share with you today. So feel free down in the comments to let me know what you think of what I considered to even be eligible in this list. Also, this is my list. It's things I really enjoyed of Marvel Legends 2022. I know you have your favorites, so let me know down in the comments what your top 10 Marvel Legends of 2022 are. With that said, let's start off with some honorable mentions. So starting off with honorable mentions, you know it wouldn't be a Disavowed Action Figures top 10 list if I didn't cheat, but I think I have a good reason here. Our honorable mentions for Marvel Legends 2022 are going to be the Marvel Legends WALGREENS exclusive wave. Rest in peace, as Dan Yoon did tweet out a few weeks ago. We will not be seeing any WALGREENS exclusives in 2023. I really enjoyed this Zemo. It was a nice upgrade from the previous one that I did have in my collection. Jigsaw, I'm not going to lie, kind of hate it low-key. I can never get the stand right. Let me know in the comments, is it just me? Or is there something wrong with getting the stand the right way? But all those accessories and that head sculpt made up for it. And of course, the Sentry with his double gun grip and gun finger hands. Don't really know why he's got the gun hands, but he does. But again, head sculpt's pretty great. But all kidding aside, WALGREENS exclusives have been a lot of fun slash frustration for me over the years, but it was always one more place to stop on a toy hunt. Check it out at WALGREENS, see what I could find inside. So coming in at honorable mention number 1 are all the 2022 WALGREENS exclusive Marvel Legends. And my next honorable mention will be VULCAN from the Marvel Legends Bonebreaker wave. Not so much because of the fact of the character, although I'm glad to have a VULCAN as the third Summers brother in my collection. It's more because of the buck. This is the inaugural figure using this buck, where we do get the butterfly joints, which will be a typical standard Marvel Legends feature moving forward on this particular buck. I believe we also saw it in the Black Panther this year for the comic book Black Panther and the Wakanda Forever wave. So we are slowly going to get these rolled out as being our new standard, taking over the Bucky Cap mold. So I did want to give the Marvel Legends team a shout out for giving us this new buck on the VULCAN body. So coming in at honorable mention number 2 is the VULCAN from the Bonebreaker Marvel Legends X-Men wave. Let's get to our top 10. And coming at number 10, of course, is a cheat, because that's what I do. Multiple figures yet again are going to be the Hasbro Pulse Army Builders this year. Really love these, having the Skrull Army Builder as well as the Shield 2-pack Army Builder. Loved getting these two different head pieces to go along with my collection to add some diversity to my Shield agents on the shelf. You know I love army building here on the channel, so having multiple Skrulls on the shelf around my Super Skrull with my Fantastic Four figures, as well as, again, adding more diversity to my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. shelf, all my Nick Fury LMDs and other figures from S.H.I.E.L.D. Was great this year. We also did get the two alternate head sculpts to go along with the S.H.I.E.L.D. figures that did have the helmeted look with them. So this was great for army builders out there to pick these up online. So again, number 10 are going to be the Skrull and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Army Builder packs from Hasbro Pulse. Coming in at number 9 was a bit of a surprise for me, actually. That is the Thor coming from the controller wave, which was the Thor Galactus Herald version. I did not read this version of the comic book. Just wasn't that into it. I kind of somewhat just kind of kept an eye on it going on. Just got this figure recently, actually, on clearance at a Target. And you know what? This is a great friggin' action figure. Amazing texture going on right here. The cape looks great. The longer white hair does really set this version of Thor aside from his previous versions, being the Herald of Galactus right here. The blue Mjolnir, of course, the different birds that come with them, I believe they're crows. Just looks great. The shoulder pads, of course, we have the chainmail. We have the spikes coming out right there on the forearms, and also further down on the thigh pads. So again, this is a great action figure. It really does look great on the shelf. Takes up some space. There's some heft to it. And again, just a really cool version of Thor, especially considering we got Galactus as our HasLab this here. So coming at number 9 is our THOR GALACTUS HERALD version from the controller wave. Coming at number 8, this is an action figure that I was really very much anticipating to add to my collection, as I'm a huge Jonathan Hickman Secret Warriors fan. In fact, I think it's the second time I mentioned Jonathan Hickman in this review, and that is the Marvel Legends Daisy Johnson QUAKE / Maria Hill / female army builder for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This thing is great. It's on that Shriek buck, so it does have the double jointed elbows and knees. It does have the pinless technology going on. It does come with both of the head sculpts, both for Daisy Johnson QUAKE and also for Maria Hill. So right there, you can army build and get 2 different figures. And then, of course, you could pop different female heads onto this buck to really build out your female shelf for your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. army. Really love this. Again, having QUAKE in the line when I first heard this, and now it's got me so pumped. Hasbro team, if you're really watching this, I can only hope that we get more of the Secret Warriors team from those older Jonathan Hickman Secret Warriors comic books. So coming at number 8 is the Daisy Johnson QUAKE and the Maria Hill Army Builder Shield from the Controller Wave pack. Coming at number 7 on our Marvel Legends Top 10 of 2022 is another figure I didn't expect to pick up, and that is the Moon Knight from the Infinity Ultron Disney Plus wave of Marvel Legends. I have not been secret of the fact that I've shied away from most MCU Marvel Legends in 2022. It was just a conscious decision that I made looking at the real estate available on my shelf here in my collection room. I could not just keep picking up all of the various MCU figures in addition to the comic figures, in addition to other things that I collect. But I did say, of course, I keep an eye for good prices, and this has gotten at a good price. This is on a random Target sale. I did pick this up on a buy one, get one, and this only cost me about maybe $15, $16. I really enjoyed the Moon Knight Disney Plus TV show. It was one of my favorite shows of the year. Although this is not the perfect Moon Knight, I know my friend NJ Tree, check him out on Instagram, did a really great version of this by putting his own paint and wash on it and kind of doing some cool things with it. Would like to see it dirtied up a little bit, but overall, for my purposes, this kind of, scratches my itch to have an MCU Moon Knight. And Moon Knight's just such a cool looking figure overall. It's a great character. Looking forward to seeing what he does in the future of the MCU. So had to pick him up at that price. So coming in at number 7, with his crescent moons in his hands, is the MCU Moon Knight figure. Coming in at number 6 is a version of a cheat I have never done in a top 10, and that is an unopened figure. I am definitely more of a rip it open kind of guy. However, in 2022, Hasbro Marvel Legends really pulled me in with some of their retro carded offerings. And as you can see, so much so that I placed an unopened figure at number 6. And I hate to say it, it might happen again. Coming at number 6 is Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro carded The Lizard. I just could not get myself to open this thing. I've watched tons of reviews. I have a great idea regarding how it moves and what the bendy wire tail is going to do and essentially what you can do with those different accessories. I just didn't have it in my heart to open this thing. I found this in store. I know many people ordered it online and pre-ordered and still has not yet come in. So maybe down the road, if I see more of them popping up more frequently, I will open it up. And is it a cop-out to put an unopened figure on my list? Let me know down below. I would normally 9 out of 10 times say yes to cop-out to put an unopened figure on my list, but if I can only get one and I really want it on my wall to go with my Spider-Man retros, I just couldn't do it, but I also couldn't see myself not putting this thing in the top 10 because it's a great figure. I think it's a great upgrade from what a lot of people wanted who didn't really like or get that Build-A-Figure a few years ago that they did of the Lizard. So again, number 6, Marvel Legends Top 10 2022, still on card, the Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro carded Lizard figure. Let's see who comes in at number 5 as we enter the top 5 Marvel Legends of 2022. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the first and only of our X-Men VHS cel-shaded figures, and that is the MORPH figure. Yes, I had to include the packaging as I thought it was ingenious having the VHS box there. However, now I will pull it away. We wanted a MORPH for so freaking long. Honestly, even though it is cel shaded, you can't even really see the cel shading that much on this figure. I kind of think that was intentional because they want to be able to fudge it in on your other shelves. Will we get another version of this down the line? I'm sure we will. If you were a 90s kid like me, you grew up watching X-Men the animated series. Yes, X-Men 97 is coming in 2022. 2023, the Revival sequel on Disney Plus. Can't wait for that. This figure looks freaking cool as hell. I did have the old Toy Biz version when I was a kid with the alternate heads. Still have it laying around somewhere. Really like how they molded on these straps, unlike the old Cyclops that we got for the Jim Lee version, where these would always slide down. We get the X logo, we get the cool bomber jacket going on, alternate head sculpts. Personally, I like the Evil Morph better. This looks great on the shelf, regardless of what X-Men shelf you do place it on. I'm sure we'll get more versions down the road where we don't have that cell shading on the boots and whatever you have going on the legs. But really enjoyed this figure, so much so, had to include it in my top 5. So number 5 of Marvel Legends 2022 is the Morph X-Men Animated Series cell-shaded VHS figure. Let's see what's coming up at number 4 in our countdown. And another entry and another cheat. I'm dirty this year. I apologize. I can't believe I have unopened on-card figures, but I love this thing and it looks so freaking cool. The Captain America Anniversary figure. This thing is just exquisite. Everything about this looks cool to me. I've only ever seen this one time in the wild. As you can see, it's from GameStop. I actually used a GameStop $5 off coupon to knock $5 off this thing. Never saw it in person ever again. Sure, I know it's available online, so maybe I'll buy another one and open it up. My other quandary is I do have the, I'd say, a more inferior version of Captain America from back in the day that does come with the wolf head. Currently is the Captain America on my shelf, and I do dig that. This is much better looking, but I just feel as if this looks so nicely displayed here on card to put on my wall. So again, let me know in the comments. I know it might be a dirty trick to put an unopened figure here in my top 10 because I can't actually, discuss its actual articulation and things like that. But the fact that we get all these cool different effects, the shield, the bullets, the different hands, the alternate head, that's one of the best heads I've seen for Steve Rogers in Marvel Legends history. But just the history of this line, getting this in the 20th anniversary on card, could not get myself to do it for the 20 years. So coming in here at number 4, still on card, still minty fresh, is the Captain America Steve Rogers figure from 2022. Time to see what's in our top 3 of Marvel Legends of the year. Can't believe we're already here. Let's dive in and see. And our first of our top 3 of 2022 Marvel Legends is our Spider-Man Peter Parker Renew Your Vows Spider-Man from that 2-pack. Found this thing at Target relatively early in my toy hunt looking for this thing. Freaking love this buck. This right now could be the best Spider-Man that we have in our hands for Marvel Legends. Of course, bringing back that awesome classic toe articulation. We do get the unmasked Peter Parker head. We get the great posability of this thing. Butterfly joints. The paint on this thing looks great. It's sized up great with other Marvel Legends regarding the size of Peter Parker I'm going to see on my shelf. Really just loved this thing. Spinner Red herself was okay, although not really my cup of tea. I, needless to say, bought this 2-pack to get my Peter Parker on the shelf with those great toe joints. Can't wait to see what they do with this buck down the road. Definitely a step up from other Spider-Man bucks we've had in the past that we've been basically offered before. No knock on them. They all have a place in my heart, but this is now my quintessential buck to be used on a Spider-Man moving forward. So number 3 in our top 10 Marvel Legends of 2022 is our Peter Parker Spider-Man Renew Your Vows 2-pack Spider-Man. And coming in at number 2 for my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2022, excluding Build-A-Figures and deluxes and all that good stuff, is going to be the Daredevil from the Daredevil Man Without Fear 3-pack from Hasbro Pulse. This thing is awesome, and I just gushed over how much I enjoyed this buck, as it is very similar to the buck that was used with Spider-Man. This is a great buck to use with Daredevil. Oh my god, I love the toe articulation that I said before. The butterfly joints on this thing really make it great to pose and kind of smack around Hand Ninjas or Bullseye or anybody else that you want in your action figure displays. Just really love this thing. I was concerned originally that the red for the Daredevil logo was not red enough on camera. Doesn't quite pick up in hand. I think it looks great. Again, this is just, to me, the now quintessential Daredevil to have in your collection. I'm sure we'll get a black suited version of this down the road. We'll probably get a retro carded version of this down the road with a slightly different deco. But overall, for now, this thing is freaking fantastic. I've really loved posing this around in 2022.
You might ask why I put it ahead of the Spider-Man that's using the same buck. Essentially, I have multiple Spider-Mans. Never had a red-suited Daredevil from the comic book in my collection. I just didn't get in early enough in Marvel Legends to have that. Didn't want to pay too hefty of a price, so I played the long game, and boom, we got this thing in the 3-pack. So coming in number 2 is Matt Murdock, the Man Without Fear, Daredevil, which brings us finally to our number 1 Marvel Legend of 2022, not counting Build-A-Figures, Deluxes, all the big chunky boys. Let's see what comes in at number 1. And coming in at number 1, I'm sticking to my guns from my earlier video, halfway through the year of my earlier top 10 list, for halfway through the year, and that's going to be the Marvel Legends Retro Carded Black Suited Symbiote Spider-Man. I loved this thing when it came out. I was so pumped when I found this on a lunch toy hunt at my local Walmart. It's awesome looking. It's such an upgrade from the previous version we had in the Sandman wave from years ago, which I do have that in my collection, by the way. It was probably one of the first 6 or 7 Marvel Legends I ever bought. That giving you an idea when I jumped in on the hobby. But this thing was awesome. Again, the buck is definitely not as good as the previous 2 figures on this list, being the Spider-Man Renew Your Vows and the Daredevil. I'm sure we'll get a black suited Spider-Man on that buck down the road, which will unfortunately render this one somewhat inferior at that point. But for now, it is fantastic. Despite the fact that it is not pinless, again, not pinless, love the fact that they actually, for what I would think would be obvious reasons, painted the pins black. So black pins, they basically blend right in with the black suit. I just love this figure. I love the look of it. It's just crisp. My logo came out really great on this thing. So to me, it was a slam dunk decision, keeping this at number 1. Even though I love those other 2 previous figures so much late in the year, this came out earlier in the year, and it definitely hung on. And to me, it is merited to be as my number 1 Marvel Legend of 2022.
All right, everybody, and that's our list. Let me down in the comments, was it cheating for me to put those mint on card figures in the top 10? I've never done it before. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but Hasbro Marvel Legends really pulled me in this year with those carded figures. And again, just the concept that we're going away from the plastic, although I guess there's murmurs we still might get some retro carded stuff in the future. It just really made me want to really take stock and enjoy seeing figures that were on card. And if I couldn't get a figure in multiples and I didn't want to open it, I just didn't want to sacrifice that, unfortunately, for the review. But again, so many great YouTubers out there, so many great reviews that was able to give me a good enough idea where it probably would have fallen if I did open it myself. Also, let me know, what are your top 10 Marvel Legends of 2022? Tell me down in the comments. Let me know. And also give me some input. You know, what should or shouldn't be considered a more build-a-figure type of figure, a chunkier figure? You know, what should possibly be in a more single-carded? Obviously, Daredevil was a 3-pack. Spider-Man Renew Your Vows was a 2-pack. So you'll see in my next list, which is top 10 Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure / Deluxe figures. Maybe some figures you didn't see in this list that you're wondering about could turn up over there because I felt they basically fit better in that category. If you love top 10 action figures of 2022 lists, please go check out other lists here on my channel from previous years. We already put out our top 10 G.I. Joe Classified of 2022 right here on the channel, and there's more lists to come. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button up there. It's free for you, doesn't cost you anything, helps us grow the channel tremendously. Hit the bell for notifications. That way YouTube actually will notify you and tell you when we post new content on the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and for daily toy content and daily toy updates, check us over Instagram and Twitter at Disavowed_12. Hey everybody, if you're going toy hunting this week, please try to remember the 3 P's of the toy hunt: patience, persistence, most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy. I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.